Yo, what's good? This is a weekly show about a Palmetto Cat Crew. You can start expecting this throughout the week. We're gonna have different players come on, hang out with us, and talk to us. Darien Rencher, former running back. Y'all know me. Clemson family. Y'all family. But we're gonna get on here and talk ball throughout the week. Have a couple of different takes. Might get some former players on here at some point. But a couple of the guys on the team will always join us and just to talk the game, talk the ball, talk season. So if y'all got questions y'all want to ask, literally start DM us, hitting us up on all the platforms, and we're going to start doing this, having fun with it. Look, we're here. Look, joined by Captain America himself, KJ Henry.
Come on,
What's good, my brother?
what's up, baby?
Get into it. So the Twitter defensive coordinators and Twitter analysts, I put out something on Twitter, right? And I want to hear your opinion about it. I said Barrett, and this ain't like just I feel like you and Barrett to me have had the most total holistic season so far on the defense. What would you accredit? You know what I'm saying? People say it's money year. People say he's a vet. Like, what would you accredit KJ Henry's success through midway through the season? Tell us the mindset. What would you accredit your success to?
I mean, obviously, first and foremost, just God putting them situations, in front of me to capitalize on, because like in the grand scheme of it all, like I can try and get to the quarterback as fast as possible. This, that, and the third, right? But sometimes you just got to work out in your favor, right? And we know we know what favor really is. So that's been kind of cool. But also, I'd probably say like my mental, not my mindset, but my mental. You know what I'm saying? That's two different things. If you're an athlete, and really just going into each week, navigating how I want to perform, navigating how I want to lead, and mentally just knowing how to work through that space, through the ups and the downs. 5 years and you kind of realize how important that is to your game, and how it just allows you to lock in each week. And so it's definitely been something that that I've been taking seriously these last couple of years, but it's something that I'm really starting to grasp control of. And even when I get in kind of those spaces where I don't necessarily know what's going on, or I'm kind of down on myself, I usually know how to pick myself up too. So that's probably been the best thing for me in the first half of the season.
Right. Bro, so you kind of talked about your journey. It's kind of off script, but I think it's appropriate just to talk about. I would say like you are in a world full of a lot of guys who want to come and play right away, and like sometimes freakish. Not that you're not a freak athlete, not that you didn't play basketball, all good stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like you really grew into the player you are. And I think a lot of people like they usually would transfer and not take that route. Obviously you talked about that before. But how would you just talk about just like your journey and process from like kind of going through the development process, being a high recruiter guy, and then now like fifth year, kind of like coaching with the bamboo analogy, finally like really getting the fruits of your labor and people really seeing like what you always want people to see about your game.
Yeah. Obviously, in today's world, to leave is frowned upon and whatnot. And if that's the best option for you, then there's no problem with it. I think the real issue comes is when guys just aren't honest with themselves, man. And I couldn't even get to a space where it's like I wanted to leave, or it's all everybody else's fault, until I had really given my best foot forward. And every year, up until now, and then obviously continually trying to get better, I hadn't put my best foot forward. I hadn't committed to everything in the weight room. I hadn't, committed to extra time, extra film, my nutrition, right? And it's like, it's easy to say, it's harder to do, like really live that lifestyle, right? This just finally been the last final season of obviously just committing to it all, and then obviously good things coming from those commitments. So but yeah, that's what I would say is just I couldn't, obviously having great talent around me, is like I was speaking on earlier, it could be hard for your mental. And but if you're really a competitor, all you can ask is the best of yourself, man. And I couldn't leave saying that, oh, nobody's giving me a chance, when I hadn't given my very best. Now, if you give your very best and you just aren't the best player, that's fine. All you can do is give your best, and then you should leave. You know what I'm saying? And find a chance for you to play ball. But as it's been shown, like when I give my best, I'm in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the guys, and that's what I had to prove to myself. That I kind of knew all along. Is that when I'm giving it my all, then I'm one of the guys. So that's been cool to see coming through the years, just knowing that it's really all. It's not about everybody around you and all the good players around you. I want good players around me. You know what I'm saying? But it's about just trying to find the best version of you. And I think I'm getting closer and closer.
Now you definitely, bro. I think just you definitely done that. I think you've earned the respect, especially the fan base. I mean, being like I said, highly recruited and then finally living up to like honestly living up to it, but you just finally being a baller, bro. And it's cool to see. And like it's been a journey. Talking about some other stuff, just talking about leadership wise, bro. I think you are not even self-proclaimed, but talking to a lot of guys and just getting a beat. Like you've grown into that role. Um, talk about what that has looked like over the years and finally like you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be that, then it's one thing to like feel like the responsibility. Like if I don't speak up, you know, it's like you know what I'm saying. It's one thing to want to speak up. There's one thing that like if you don't speak up, everybody's looking like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's been cool, man. I'm always like, in my mind, if there's leadership, then I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool to fall back, and I'm cool to be a follower. Like that's no problem for me at all, especially if it's respectable. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
then there's no direction and no leadership, then that's when I know that I have to take a step forward. And with that being said, it's been easy to be one of the leaders this year because there's so many guys in their rightful positions who are they don't have to lead by their voices. Obviously, I'm a talker, but they're leading by action, and that's something that's been cool to see too. So I think that's kind of the thing is like, oh, KJ is one of the leaders because like I'm vocal and my voice is
Yeah.
being used a lot. But this is leadership wise, this is the most leaders we've had on a team probably since I've been here.
That's solid.
So,
I would say the same. I mean, honestly, like
yeah,
just kind of being removed and kind of saw the trajectory of a lot of guys last year. I mean, you got like so it's a lot of guys who just like lead them, like you said, lead themselves. A lot of guys that are really motivated, and it's cool because it's the most talented guys. You know,
mhm,
since we've been there, like some of the most talented guys that we count on to play don't necessarily lead
yeah,
like you know what I'm saying culture wise. They just they show up, bro, and they do what they do, and that helps too. But at the same time, it's dope when like the best players are actually like model leaders on the team because
yeah.
that makes a world of difference. Um, on that note, bro, what would you say this year's team? Like, what do you appreciate the most? Like, you've been on some really good teams, been around some really good players, et cetera, et cetera. But like this year's team, because y'all, I feel like y'all got a special. Uh, I feel like every year has a special bond, but y'all got a cool like bond on the team. You know what I'm saying? You can really like,
Yeah,
I can really see that through not being there, but seeing through the stuff. I'm like, but this team, y'all really rock with each other. What would
yeah,
you? How would you describe that?
yeah. That was my answer. I appreciate the relationships, and like from the first year I've gotten here, relationships has been the number one thing for me. But then obviously it's just something you can't really like create is when you get in that last year and you start looking back on memories and stuff, right? And
Right.
just starting to appreciate the things, little things, a little bit more. I'm appreciating relationships, more. And
Yeah.
with that being like you said, just the guys this year. I love when they crack on me, old man jokes, all that. Bring them all my way because I know when it's all said and done, I'm gonna miss them.
Yeah.
And I've just been appreciating the time, appreciating the stuff that we take for granted. A good old Tanoga Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Um, appreciate Coach Sweeney's long Friday night speeches.
Sheesh.
Everything, yeah, you know how it is. And when you're in that last year, man, just everything that you take it for granted, you want to make sure when it's all said and done. I couldn't have done that year any better because I worked as hard as I could and I appreciated every moment.
Yeah.
So just the little things, man. I'm loving it all right now.
That's solid, bro. Dude, so one of the things I think is cool is that I think the two on both sides of the quarterback and defense. I say you're not a quarterback, but I'm saying, but the leader on defense, offense, both were number 5.
Yeah.
How is it? Obviously, that clip. And I know y'all locker buddies for the past couple years. How has it been seeing him step into that role this year?
Yeah, he's just like everything DJ's ever done since day one. He's doing it his own way, and that's all I could ask for.
Facts.
That's all I could ask for him. I never want him to feel like he's got to try and lead like me or like Trevor or like anybody before him. Like, bro, just know that we're all behind you and just lead. And he's done a great job of that. He's obviously one of those guys that he's gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? And that's perfectly fine. Like guys see DJ play, they see him work. And it's like nothing needs to be said. I want to be like DJ, right? So
Right.
been cool to see from like a big brother perspective, but like a respect, a teammate perspective too. Like this dude's really about his business, and
Facts.
he wants more than anything to do his job for this team and give us a chance to win. So it's been awesome to see, and I keep saying it, all year. No one deserves it more, man.
I agree, bro. It's just like you said, I think nobody's surprised at what he's doing. It's more so you just finally glad the world's able to see it because everything he went through the past years, like it's always been there, and now the pieces are finally together. The swagger's there. The do rag is on. You know what I'm saying? He being himself, doing it his way. But talk about all right. So y'all sitting at 6-0, correct? 6-0. You can't be better than 6-0. I think y'all have answered. Yeah, y'all kind of defense definitely did go through some stuff throughout some games. I feel like y'all finally hit you on stride. What would you attribute to that?
I don't think it was anything necessarily special. I just feel like a lot of the times we're in our own way, offensively and defensively. Like obviously we're playing great teams and whatnot, but we know when we play our best ball, we're a hard team, to beat, hard team to score on, hard team to stop. So really, that, and then obviously we've been battling through some major injuries, and that could be seen as a negative, but I see it as a positive in the sense of, we're growing our team as we get later in the season. And then obviously last year having so many injuries and guys having to step in roles and not being ready, I think that's the biggest thing that we try to push this offseason and this year is when guys step into these roles, like, be ready. Like, there's no excuse. Like, everybody is in these meetings, and everybody has to be ready just to do your job, not to make the game-winning play or anything like that, but just be ready, to make that trip to the A-gap, make that left-right call, you know what I'm saying, cover that, that flat, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Guys just have to do their job. So I think that's kind of would have been a big testament to, the progress is obviously guys are starting to slowly come back, some of our better players. The, reserve guys are just doing their job and they're getting better and better each week. So it's making us better as a collective group.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think fans, I'm on the other side now. I be seeing all this stuff. And fans be so hot, but I know being a part of a team, all this stuff, as long as it don't end in an L, like it don't end in a lost game, all this is gonna be the makeup for a really good team. And that's where, like, man, this season's so developmental, and it's like a lot of these young guys that like came to Clemson to play, they get a chance to play, and sometimes maybe get exposed, but it's all kind of developing them to be really good players. And we all went through that at different stages of our career where you got exposed and you grow from it, learn from it, move on. Last couple of questions is I was talking to XT and I think it's gonna be really exciting to see the D line full fledged. It was a crazy stat that basically was saying like how none of y'all have really played together throughout y'all's career. And that's actually crazy to think about. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like somebody saying like Trevor and Justin Ross never were on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
So you just don't think of like what could have happened. So how excited does that make you? Like the D line, look, quote unquote, best D line in the history of Clemson football. A lot of people said that. Y'all finally getting back together, coming up soon. How does that make you feel?
Excited, man. Like you said, it's very rare that we've all, as a group, been healthy for the same game, let alone a stretch of games. And I just know we, as a group, we're gonna be a problem. And so just excited just to get to work with these guys and go out on the field and ball out. That's where the fun is, playing with. So just happy that these guys are starting to come back for sure.
Facts, bro. Looking forward to Florida State. Obviously, bro, y'all had a really good run. I think like people always so quick to look ahead, but I mean these 6 games, like two top 15, two top 25, tongue twister. You know what I'm saying? 2 ranked games, a lot of big wins, like big margin wins. But now like kind of midway season, really in a really good spot. Looking forward to Florida State. Like, what is that? How does that excite you going down in that game? Because like last time we've been there was 2018. Last time you went?
I've never been to Florida State. Obviously, we flew down there, right? But the game got canceled. So 2018 I didn't travel. So like Boston College, this will be my first time ever going to the stadium. So Boston College, that was my first time up in BC, and this will be my first time at Florida State. So excited for the war chant, excited for everybody you're rooting against us. Shoot, I'm excited to See my man's come out on the horse and throw the spear in the middle of the
Bro,
daggone
it's gonna be rocking.
the field.
2018 wasn't like they knew they were gonna lose that game, and that was literally a huge blowout.
Yeah.
Then 2020 didn't work out, but bro, it's rocking down there. It's gonna be
Yeah.
cool, and they actually got some swagger this year to where, and they're at a spot where like if they can beat Clemson, they get their season back. So
Yeah.
they definitely gonna be playing, and it's gonna be rocking. And when Florida State's better, but the league's better, so I'm excited to see the game.
100%.
All right, man. Look, thank you for coming on. Probably get you back. Keep doing your thing often. The sound. Oh, last question, bro. To the people, you got a lot of love out there. Like I think you're one of the most beloved football players on the team. Maybe to come through. Look, I keep it real. Like I can see it on the people. What would you tell the KJ Henry supporters out there?
Wow, I what a question. You're loved. You're loved and you're appreciated. Thank you for being with me through the good and the bad times, and I'm forever indebted. And it's always go Tigers.
Go Tigers. All right, brother.